Hello and welcome to the Studio Brutal video on how to master your tracks in Ableton Live. This is based on a free Ableton rack that I've made, which you can get in the description below. So yeah, go and get that and I'll show you how to use it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel before, please do that and give us a like, just much appreciated. So yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, why do you want to master your tracks? You want to master your tracks so you're sort of finishing a track and polishing it. So it sounds good on a big system and also on lots of other systems like a car or a phone, but for dance music it's the club that matters most. And also because other tracks will be mastered and it will boost the volume of it a little bit, you want yours to be at a similar mastered level to that, so yours doesn't sound either too loud or too quiet in the other tracks you're playing out. So basically what you're going to need is a track that you've bought or downloaded that's similar to yours that you can A/B yours with. And you want to do, I'll show you in a bit, but you're going to A/B it with your ears and your eyes. You're going to look at it and listen to it and try and make them similar, so they look the same. So yeah, let's get into the rack first and how you polish your track. So yeah, let's get going. So yeah, first of all we've got this auto filter, and this is on the master. So I'm taking the rack and I'm putting it on the master channel. So absolutely everything is going through it, and what it's going to do is it's going to, first of all we're going to have an auto filter, and that is going to take any low frequencies off that we can't even hear or feel. There's no point a loudspeaker in a club trying to reproduce frequencies that are there that don't do anything. It's just going to busy the speaker doing stuff we don't want it to do. So yeah, we had an auto filter. Then I've got a utility, and that monos the bass. You don't want a sub bass in stereo, because if you then have a speaker that's got just monoing the signal, it could phase the stereo signals, the two signals. So basically you want it to already be a mono, and you want to make sure it sounds good once you've in headphones, once you've switched this on. Then there's an EQ, and this is just a really slight EQ just to get the high and the low frequencies right. And what you want to do is you want to listen to another mastered track and try and make yours sound similar. If it hasn't got quite enough bass in, give it a bit of boost. If it's, or cut it there. It's just to put a bit more treble or bass in it. And yeah, listen to your own track. You want it to sound good, but also listen to other tracks and A/B them, switch between them, and listen and use your ears. Then we've got a glue compressor that is just doing it. You can see it moving. You have to adjust the threshold here. You don't want it to just so. You want it so it's just doing a little bit. Again, we'll look at it. We'll look at the track in a minute. I'll show you how to do it by using your eyes. But basically, you want it to be similarly mastered to an already mastered track. It's a good idea as well to get your own track mastered and listen and see what the look at it in Audacity or something like that and see what they've done. But yeah, you basically want it to be just compressing a tiny bit, basically. So what this is doing is it's taking the loud bits like the kick and the bass, and it's turning them down a little bit. And the reason for that is later on we're then going to turn the whole track up, and it's going to make the whole thing sound louder. By cutting the louder bits, it gives us more headroom and we can turn it up. So yeah, you want the compressor just to be doing a little bit. This will make more sense later when we look at the track. Then here I have another EQ, and this is doing more. You want to sort of sweep and find any frequency range that's lacking between your track and a professional one, or one that you've bought off an artist you like, and you want to make them similar in the frequency spectrum. So yeah, it has to be a track that's quite similar to yours. And then here I have another compressor here that I can just make it just doing a tiny bit. You want to adjust the threshold so it's just doing a little bit. The key is to have a couple of compressors just doing a little bit, just to take the peaks off. And then I have a saturator here, which you absolutely do not have to have, but I think it's quite nice. It glues stuff together a little bit. It's not doing a lot, it's just a tiny bit of wet dry and a tiny bit of drive, but it does distort the signal, but it glues everything together a little bit, and I think it sort of gives it a little bit of an analog effect for techno. And if you're playing your track out, I think it's a good idea. But obviously, if you're having it professionally mastered, you want to take this off first. You don't want any of this rack on. And then last but not least, I've got a limiter, which absolutely compresses the sound quite a bit. It takes everything in it and it'll turn it right down and squash it. But then when we turn it back up in a minute, it's going to make it a lot louder. That gives you a lot more headroom, but it can also like brick wall it and make it sound too squashed. So you have to be careful with this. So yeah, let's jump into Audacity and I'll show you. I'm basically going to record this loop into Audacity with a couple of different compression settings and without compression, and show you basically how it works basically. So yeah, so basically I'm going to go to Audacity now and show you what it looks like. Okay, so yeah, basically here I am going to get a fresh instance of Audacity, and I'm going to record in my my track from Ableton. Okay, so I'm going to record it in to Audacity, this loop, without the rack on, and you can see that you can see all the peaks quite clearly. Now I'm going to put the compressor on, and you can see it's turned it down, but it's cut a lot of the peaks out. Okay, and then I'm just going to change the limiter so it's less, so it's still compressing but less. Right, and now I'm going to get my professionally mastered track, and I'm going to look at them, what they look like together. But first of all, I need to normalize all these so it puts them all up as loud as they can go. So you just normalize them in Audacity. Audacity's free, by the way. If you don't have it, you can just get it off the internet. So yeah, you normalize all these, and then I'll play them to you, and you'll see that the middle one looks and sounds the loudest. And this is where you need to start looking at stuff as well. So yeah, if I play that, you'll hear it, and you can see it. Well, you can see it's going to be louder. It's just absolutely brick walled. And then this one is a bit less. And this is the one I turned the limiter down on, right? So yeah, so now I'm going to A/B it. Well, I'm going to drag in a track that's already mastered. Probably cut it so I can only just see the peak time bit, so I can compare them. And then yeah, so basically at this point, you just want to make them so it looks the same. It's as compressed as your testing track, okay, as the A/B track, and you want to make them look the same, which is probably this last one. I'd probably take some of the compression off a bit here to make it similar, and then when they play out, they'll be of a similar volume. So yeah, that is roughly it basically for mastering. I've covered it. It's an in-depth topic, and I think I could go into it in a lot more detail, and honestly you should use a proper mastering engineer. But just to get a quick master to play out in a club, this is what you want. You want to do this process. And one last thing I would say is, this isn't like a finished process. You want to take it out, listen to the track in the club, in the car, and on your phone, and then tweak your own, and then tweak your go back and tweak the rack, keep the save it, and then go out and make some changes, then go and listen to it again, and then when you're really happy with that, just make that your final mastering rack for your type of music, or for that sort of for that type of music that you're making. So yeah, you keep tweaking it basically, and to get it right. But yeah, the most important thing is it sounds good in the club, obviously, and that it sounds that it can be mixed with other tracks, and it's of a similar sort of volume. So yeah, that is it basically. If you have any questions at all, please let me know in the comments below, and please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And yeah, good luck with your music making. Okay, take care. Have a good day. Goodbye.